And we also want to see more creators having face tracking out of the box on the avatar as well. Because we really like doing our own implementation. Even whenever like some creators like Mayu, for example, has their own face tracking, we like to do our own implementation as well because they look completely different. They bring different feelings.
Hello, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and we got one hell of a guest, and that is...
Okay. To meet you guys, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate you here.
Very much
Thank
so.
you for coming.
Well, I'll ask the meat and potatoes of the conversation, Choki. What are you most known for? How'd you get started, and what got you into Vrchat?
Well, I've started playing this as a let's see what this game is about when I first got my Valve Index. I don't know when it was just when it was released. I was like, yeah, let's play this game. Let's play Half-Life Alyx. Let's play all these VR games. I was like, yeah, this is fun, but nothing to do with it. And then I left my VR headset a little bit in the side. And one day I was like, what is that Vrchat that people talks about? Like, why do they play that? Like, weird, right? Then they're like, yeah, let me try. And then, yeah, it was nice. And I'm still here, like, after 6 years, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I found out about, like, let's see what this game is about. And then I was hooked on it. I was like, first time I saw someone using, like, full body, I was like, that's nice. I want to use that. Then I saw face tracking. I was like, man, that's nice. And then I got into this mixture of like VR hardware and also like social game, and I got hooked, and it was really like fast. And then here I am for 6 years, enjoying like social VR games. Yeah, that's how it started.
Oh, wow. So, what are you most known for, may I ask? What do you do?
Uh, we we have a thing called Pawlygon. It's a friend of 7 friends. We are all from Brazil. Everyone met each other here in Vrchat. We started doing like stuff for ourselves, like face tracking, and we started doing some clothing textures. It was like all of us doing stuff for ourselves, and people started asking about like, "Hey guys, can I have that?" I was like, "Yeah, you can, but how can you share this without like breaking all those terms of services and everything? Because I can't guarantee that you have the avatar as well." So like, yeah, let's find ways to share that with other people. So we started like gathering yourselves and getting knowledge of like how to share face tracking pictures, how to do an clothing that you can add to an avatar without having much knowledge. Yeah, we started this thing called Pawlygon where we started sharing stuff that we did for ourselves, but other people also wanted to use. And we wanted to make sure that we deliver something of quality without breaking other creators' terms of service. And yeah, we we did that for 2 years now. Yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
started about 2 years ago.
Mm,
Oh,
We
wow.
started with face
excellent.
trackings, add-ons for avatars. So you have the avatar, you patch with like a face tracking blend shape. So also an add-on for the face tracking itself. And then we decided to do like some clothings as well. And then we can do also textures like add-ons with shading and stuff. And then we started to do those things.
Oh,
Wow, that's nice. That's cool.
yeah, indeed. So, what were some of your first
Did you...
projects, like, may I ask? Like, at least
Our
ones that first projects, or as well as some of the first projects that were public.
Our first thing that was completely public was shallow face tracking. Shallow is a avatar from the creator is Mofwaki, a Japanese creator from Booth. It was our first fully public asset that we did as a patcher that you add to avatar itself.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was our first one. It was November 2023 or 2023. That was our first public avatar, our first public add-on with
Ah,
face tracking.
you had something? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, yeah, I had a question. Sorry. When you first came into VR, what was the weirdest thing or the strangest thing that you ever saw?
Strangest thing. Hmm. Wow, there's a bunch of strange things, but strangest. I don't know. Nothing like ignoring like completely fetishes and stuff like that. I don't think there was something really strange. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know like exactly.
How
Well,
about
I think this.
something when you first came in that you just laughed and you just couldn't get it out of your head? One of those situations.
Let me think about it. Trying to remember something about it. It has been so much time. Uh, man, that's a really hard question.
Okay. Well, if you think about it and you want to pop it back out, throw it out there. I'll no problem there.
Honestly, when I first joined, everything was strange because I didn't understand why do people would like come over here and like hang out and do stuff when you could do that outside of here. I was like, why do people invest so much time in here? And it's so strange to think about it right now because right now I am one of those that really enjoy being on VR and seeing like what everyone can create and everything that you can do over here. Like you can go to clubs, you can go to like a stand-up show. There's a bunch of stuff that you could do in real life, but here it has a, an extra layer of amazing things you can do because you can actually create anything you want. So it's it was strange in the beginning to think about why people do it, and now that I'm here and I see like all this stuff we can create and all this stuff we can do, it's really enjoyable. Yeah, but
Okay.
nothing really
No,
is really strange, I guess.
no, okay. There's no problem with that.
Okay.
But
Now,
thinking about like the first times of the first things I was able to see here, and also that was like mind blowing for me, was people dancing. Because back then I only like, had my headset and my controller. I was like, yeah, that's fine. But when I first saw them, I'm talking about 2019 here, like a long time ago. When I first saw someone doing like a full dance performance, moving around his room and like interacting with people that were watching, everyone on like half body, and like seeing how much interactable that was and how much real life that thing could be. It was the moment it clicked for me, like, oh man, this is really like next level technology. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
the strangest thing was seeing a thing that is really common every day, like nowadays, like everyone like with full bodies, with face trackings and everything, like making this a real life thing and not just like uh, a headset and controllers.
okay. So you mentioned before with face tracking that you guys offer different patches for face tracking and stuff like that. Now, with all of those projects, like you mentioned, the face tracking for your first release, was that something you guys got into pretty quickly, or did you like make those things for yourselves? They said first, and then got into. How did you learn about providing face tracking
Oh,
modifications for avatars?
so this took like years because when I first started using face tracking, it was 2021, I think, when Vive first released their face tracker. I didn't have the eye tracking back then, but I had the Vive face tracker. I was like, yeah, I wanna use the maximum out of it. I wanna understand exactly how those things, like how those parameters work, which blend shapes you can use. So when we first started with face tracking, it was actually 2021 with mods back then, and not even like the software with OSC and everything. It was an actual mod that would have access to the face tracking parameters. And I was like, yeah, let me. And back then I had no Blender knowledge. I was like, I know Unity, but I don't know Blender. So I was trying to get the parameters from the actual hardware, the face tracking, and map into my avatar. Like I remember mapping like the jaw to my tail, and being able to move the tail base of my jaw, and making jokes of like trying to grab my tail and being able to move it whatever I want. It was a long time ago, but yeah, our first face tracking things that I have done is back in 2021, but we only started releasing our stuff and being able to make to other people in 2021 or 2023, because back then no one had face tracking. No one, like, it was.
I think you froze.
Think it too.
Got a boo boo. I think you got a boo boo.
Jesus. Please be patient, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He shall return. Uh-huh.
Oh, you're back and alive. Oh, he's a pretzel.
We know that one, folks. Oh, do we ever. I haven't got started yet. I get to be a pretzel one of these days.
I'm back.
Small pretzel, but a pretzel.
Yeah. Stingling crashed. It happens. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you perfectly.
Oh, yeah,
fine.
we hear you. You're perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, no.
Stinglink being Stinglink.
As-
If I'm back.
As you mentioned before with Vrchat face tracking or using mods, how different was building for face tracking between 2021 and 2023 when you first released? Is the difference between using mods and the OSC similar, different? How easy?
Back then we only had Vive software for face tracking itself. Like, we had only Vive headsets and also the Vive face tracker. So we only knew about Cernipol blend shapes. Cernipol is the technology that Vive developed. We didn't have Meta with their, I forgot the name that they give. It's like Arcade, but the different name. So we only had Cernipol. So we did like Cernipol blend shapes, and the mod itself only transmitted some kind of parameters named specifically for Cernipol. And since it was a mod, it was also hooking those parameters directly to the base, to the parameters side of things that are transmitted directly on 60 hertz. So we didn't have to use like OSC smoothing for some stuff. It was basically, if I see the changes on the parameters, you also see on the same time. Nowadays, it's a little bit more complex because we use OSC, and OSC has a limitation of like how much you can transmit over the network. So it's a thing that most people discover when they start using face tracking, is the way you see your face tracking is not the same as people on the network see as their face tracking, because you basically have 60 hertz of data being transmitted for the actual shapes. But when you talk about remote users, they only see 10 hertz of changes. So it's a little bit more choppy. And that's why I have like OSCs moving to do all of that. If I get one of my avatars that I used to have back in the day that we used mods, it's still gonna work. But since it has no smoothing, nothing like that, it's gonna look like really, really choppy. It's gonna be like one frame every one frame change after like 6 or 7 into our actual really game. So it looks like really, really choppy. So nowadays we have more parameters, more information, because we have like multiple different headsets with different kind of face tracking. It's all unified into what we call unified expressions. But in the end, the way that the data goes between like the actual hardware and Vrchat is completely different. So we had to be creative. We have like amazing people in the community, like Asmidi, Jerry as well, that are building stuff that we can actually get less data and smooth and make it like usable for the remote users. Because when we first got to that change of like mod to OSC, everyone was, oh my god, everyone was going crazy because, oh, my face tracking looks so bad now. Vrchat has to increase the amount of data that they transmit over OSC, and they kind of work together to find the solution where there's not so much data being transferred, but also you can have it working fine into remote and local users. But yeah, back then we didn't have to worry about those things. But I think in the end it's better now, because if we had the amount of face tracking users that we have today back then with the mods and all those parameters being transferred into like the IK rates of today, this game would like not run properly at all, because it's so much stuff, so much data coming through, so much controllers and mapping blend shapes. It's so much today.
Wow.
But it's a completely different experience from doing back then and doing today. Also, we had no like easy templates for just drag and drop into the avatar and the face tracking would work. Like there was no such a thing. You have to go into your FX, map each parameter to each blend shape. There was also no naming convention, so smile could be called anything and not like smile left, smile right, mouth upper up, mouth lower down. There was no pattern. It was like completely wild west. So today, after like a lot of years, we are finally getting into a consensus of like what blend shapes are really necessary and what should be mapping to the template to have like a real vivid face tracking using the minimum amount of parameters and also being able to show it over the network as well. So it's still in progress, but we are like very far from what we were in 2021. Completely different.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for explaining all that. I have never messed with face tracking, so hearing how different the different times were from then, 2023, and now is actually quite interesting. What kind of resources was there for you to learn how to do Pawlygon at that time, early in the day?
For Pawlygon itself, we had a lot of documentation for face tracking and stuff. We also had a lot of examples of other people doing it. Jerry is doing since 2022, I think. We are also doing for a long time, so it was a community built thing. So we would go onto Discord and talk about like parameters. What should we prioritize? How can we make it to work like properly on meta headsets, on live headsets? So yeah, it was a community built thing. Like, so today we have the documentation, which is good enough for anyone to go into, and like, if he has the Blender knowledge and also the Unity knowledge, he has everything they need to know to like design their blend shapes, take that into Unity, get a prefab, or even build your own template, and yeah, everything community built. And with that, we also saw some other community built things starting from scratch, like ETVR, doing the eye tracking, Babel doing like a face tracking as well. It's really nice to see like how far and how something that started as an open source is still work as an open source in a way that people can go and build together.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing all that. It was actually awesome to learn. What have been some of your favorite projects all of you in Pawlygon have learned or have done and built so far? And what have been your consumers' favorite?
Consumer's favorite for sure is the Nova Beast. Whenever we saw that avatar releasing, we have to do it, the face tracking for this. So it for sure was the Nova Beast. It's it's what has been most sold, and also we had the most feedback as well, like how they wanted their blend shapes to look. And it's funny today because we have like 6 or 7 maybe actual options of Nova Beast face tracking add-ons, and they all look completely different. They have different feelings. They have they look completely different, and it's so cool to see like this coexisting and people being able to like choose whatever they like the most. Some people like ours because of how silly face you can do. Like this become like a really like it's in a way a bug, but at the same time people really like the peak that you can do. So it became like a thing about our own add-on. Some other people's like the other options, and it's a fun place because whenever you see people using different ones, you see them discussing stuff, but in the end we all work together to build like something that everyone's gonna like. But as a creator, I think the thing that I most liked working on was what we call Pawlygotchi. I don't think I have on this avatar. No, I do not. But it's like a Tamagotchi that mimics your expression into like a Pawlygotchi itself. So it's a face tracking add-on that you can have on any avatar, and you can show like it mimics your expressions. It's I think that was the one I most liked. I'm not sure if I have one here with working, because I have been uploading so much versions and I'm completely lost. But I might have one.
Okay.
That I can show up later as well. But yeah, that's for sure the thing that I most liked working on. It's so simple, the project that's really simple, but at the same time, it's really different from everything that we have done.
So with the Pawlygotchi, what started that project, may I ask?
It started as a little joke because we took part of what's the name? Vrchat, the Japanese event, and we are designing our booth. And one of our members are like, "Why don't we do like a Tamagotchi where you can choose your character on the screen and you can test the face trackings and everything?" So we did the whole modeling as a Tamagotchi, a small one, but you could go inside and choose your character and everything. And it's like, yeah, that's a really nice design. But what if we also did like one that people could also get for free and add on their avatar that could work with gestures or face trackers? Like, yeah, we can do that as well. So we did that, and being lazy as we like to be sometimes, we only had like 5 or 6 days to actually complete the project from scratch to release. So it was really rushed, and working with constraints and everything was like really stressful. But in the end, it was a really nice project that we released it for free during the event. So during Vrchat, you could grab that asset for free. Yeah. I think, Vive, can you behave?
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, alrighty. Well, so how when you Pawlygotchi was released, how was it received during VCAT Mask?
It's nice. It's a project that we included a sprite sheet that people could design their own character, like, and modify exactly. So we did it with like our own avatar, our own mascot, like we like to call Pawly, and we also gave the spreadsheet for people to modify and make their own. So we had some people modifying and adding their own characters into the Pawlygotchi. That was like really nice for us to see, because that was not a simple editing thing to do. Like, you have to be really artistic to make your own spreadsheet for that thing. So we saw some people actually going into those files and modifying for something that would be like theirs. We really liked seeing that. Like, I think that's being able to do assets that people can make their own, like being able to modify and make exactly how they want. It's what drives us.
Oh. So
And it was really nice to see people doing that on the Pawlygotchi itself.
Oh. Do you have any favorites from what you've seen so far? Any names that have stuck with you with their adaptations to Pawlygotchi?
We have a guy called Allingsing. He's a watermelon bird. He has one. And we also have Meaty, I think, Meaty Things, Meaty Fights, I think is the name. It's one of the guys behind the Wooper avatar as well. So he also made one for him. That's the two that gets on top of my head that I saw they're modifying and like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay. So when you guys are choosing to create an asset or build a face tracking plugin for an avatar, how do you select and choose what you're going to build as a group, and how has that changed from when you started to now?
So when we started, we like to do stuff that we use. So Shallow, for example, our first one. When we first saw that avatar, like, yeah, I want that. It doesn't have face tracking, doesn't matter. We're gonna do ours, and we're gonna be happy with it and share as well. So we started like, yeah, we like that avatar. We are gonna do face tracking for that avatar. That also happened to the Nova Beast. It happened to most of our add-ons. Whenever one of our 7 people that work on Pawlygon likes an avatar, we're like, yeah, let's do that. Let's work on this one. And then whenever we started getting more people into our community, we also have like suggestions from other people from the community itself. But then what we realized is people that were buying our modifications also like the same avatars that we liked. So they were suggesting avatars that we are also looking into. Like, it was basically like a natural thing to happen. So they started suggesting avatars that we liked, and we started doing add-ons for the avatars that they liked. It was really natural. Sometimes we do like some pools to see like what avatars people want to see next. They can go and suggest anything. Yeah, but most of the time is from avatars that we as a Pawlygon members like to use, and also the suggestions from the community. But in the end, they basically want the same thing. We as the community, and then as the community members, we all like the same stuff. So it's pretty easy.
Okay. So when you guys first started gaining a community, what was your community like, and were you expecting a following, I guess is a way to put it?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
When Pawlygon was starting to take off and you guys started making stuff for people to purchase, what was your community like when you first started, and were you expecting the following as you started growing?
We started pretty small, out of like completely from scratch, and then people started showing up, having like some feedbacks on the face trackings that we did, because when we started, we only had like the actual Vive face tracker to test. So some stuff would look a little bit weird on MetaQuest Pro or some other hardwares. So most of the people that start coming out was to give some feedback on how it was looking on those hardwares, and we're like, yeah, it's different from what we have. So we needed to work together to see like how can we make sure that this face would look good on this hardware and also on Vive. So the first members came around that around those kind of interactions. We worked together to improve stuff. For example, if you get like the first version of Shallow and try to use on a MetaQuest, it's not gonna look good. Like, it's gonna have a lot of issues. So we basically had to go back and rework to make sure it was also looking looking good for Quest. And basically today, our workflow involves like testing on every headset before actually saying like, yeah, this is good enough to put for sale. So first we needed the community to test stuff. We still do it. We still like show some stuff before releasing to other people that have different kind of hardwares. But now we like to test on everything that we can test before like releasing. So yeah, our first members came from this direction to make sure everything was working properly on every headset. And now we have a bunch of people that comes into the community as well to ask about like which headset to buy, because since our videos we show like Pico 4, Quest Pro, Vive XR Elite, we show all the options that you can use the face tracking, and they see like, hey, this is look a little bit different. This has like Vive has better eye tracking. This one has better like sleep tracking. So they come into your community to talk about those things and like ask like, which one should I buy? Or like, you should look into them, because it's not as simple as like, this one is the best, this one is the best. You have to understand the pros and cons of everyone. So it's also went that way, like people starting to join our community to ask about those stuff, and like really like, and since we also really like enjoy like hardware and stuff, we enjoy helping people to decide where they should put their money, what headset they should buy, and everything like that.
Okay. I have a question now that you're talking about the different hardwares. How different is the hardwares to work with when making face tracking between, like on your side of things, when making the Visemes and stuff for an avatar?
So in the end, they all have the same features, but each one has some stuff that the others can't do. For example, Vive is really known for being able to move your tongue left to right, up, down. You can do all of that. You can also, some Vive eye tracking can track the pupil dilation. Meta can't do that. But Meta has like some outer lips shapes like stretching and pouting that is a little bit better than Vive. So each one has their benefits and problems in a way. In the end, it's really like personal preference at this point, because they kind of all do the same thing, but one outshines in some stuff. For example, Quest Pro has eyebrow tracking, but some people can't move their eyebrow, or they have to use the headset in a weird position that the eyebrow doesn't get tracked very well. So the benefit of having eyebrow tracking doesn't mean everyone is gonna have good eyebrow tracking. So it's basically, I buy this because it has that, but maybe I cannot use it. So it's really personal preference, and also like we like to joke is sometimes you have a weird face and that hardware is not gonna like your weird face. Or maybe sometimes you have a really good face that headset's gonna like. For example, Pico 4 Pro is really known for having a really bad lip tracking. Really, really bad. For example, me, since I have like a really big nose, my big nose blocks the camera, so I cannot even use the lip tracking. But you have some friends that, if you don't ask, their lip tracking looks exactly like Quest Pro, and it works perfectly for them. So if I say the Pico 4 Pro is bad, it's gonna be just my personal experience, because I cannot use the camera. The camera gets blocked by my nose. But for that guy, it's the best option because it's half the price of a Quest Pro and works exactly the same. So it's hard to have like a definitive answer for like what is best. We try to make our products to work as good as they can on every hardware, but in the end, it's also going to be a little bit of like how you position the headset, which headset you're using. It's a lot of variables, but we try to account for those and adjust for everything.
Okay.
we have to do like some limitations for specific hardware, but then that limitation makes some stuff looks a little bit weird on Vive, for example. So we try our best. We try, and we also expect a lot of feedback. We like to say to everyone that uses our stuff to like, if you think something is weird, please let us know, because most of the times we don't know about that weird interaction because we never seen it happening. So please bring it to us. We're going to investigate and try to make it work as good as possible, independent of what hardware you're using. We want to make something that's like really universal for whatever you're using now, or maybe like in 5 years from now, whatever hardware we have.
Okay. Well,
So it's a evolving challenge. Every day it's something new.
what have been some of your hardest challenges so far, and how have you and the team overcome it?
Since everyone on our team used to have like Vive face trackers, when we start selling the Nova Beast itself, and a lot of people with like MetaQuest Pros started using it, it was a challenge for us because we started seeing stuff that we have never seen before. Since we ever only tested with the Vive face tracker, and people are using like the MetaQuest Pro, like, hey, how do you do that face? It's impossible. So we had to go and relearn everything from scratch, understand the interactions of blend shapes you could do on face tracking. And for the MetaQuest, it was also the time that I was like, yeah, I think we have to buy a MetaQuest as well, because we need to test it out and see exactly what is going on. So yeah, it was when we released Nova Beast, and we had a bunch of people with Quest Pro starting to use it, and it was like, yeah, we have to change our workflow a little bit to include every bit of hardware possible to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Oh, wow. Thank you for explaining all of that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we're really excited to see like what's gonna happen. One thing that has to happen on Vrchat as soon as possible is a native implementation of face tracking. And we really want that to happen. But at the same time, we know that it's going to be like the most chaotic day ever, because we will have to update everything to work with whatever Vrchat decides to implement or on their side. So I'm really excited for that day, that we have like native face tracking and not like having a software or like an add-on or a face tracking template or whatever. It's going to be a really chaotic day, but I'm really expecting that day, because I really want this to be native and not like something that you have to go out of your way to install a software. This has to be like plug and play completely. Even if it's not like the actual face tracking blend shapes, you can use like, so what Vrchat is doing for, I'm not sure if you saw the camera tracking thing that uses like some of the, being weird again. Yeah, back. Being able to like use some of the gestures of the avatar to mimic like face tracking. So yeah, really excited for that day, but at the same time really scared to see all the work that we have to do to adjust our stuff to this native thing. It has to happen this year. It has been like 5 years that we are using face tracking. It has to be native one day. It has to be easier.
Now that sorry.
And we also want to see more creators having face tracking out of the box on the avatar as well. Because we really like doing our own implementation. Even whenever like some creators like Mayu, for example, has their own face tracking, we like to do our own implementation as well, because they look completely different. They bring different feelings. So, but at the same time, we also want the avatars itself having the creator implementation of face tracking, like how it was supposed to be. So I think that Vrchat bringing that native implementation would also make people want to create avatars with face tracking out of the box more often as well.
You mentioned something that kind of piqued my curiosity is Vrchat's new desktop face cam face tracking. Have you guys messed with that a little bit? How does that work and differ from using like a regular headset like the Vive Pro
They
or Vive or Quest Pro?
they are completely different implementations.
Hmm.
You can mix them both because what that does is emulate. So even if you don't implement eye tracking on an avatar and you have an eye tracking headset, you can still have the eye gaze working. You can still have the blink working with both eyes together, but it kind of works even today. So that camera implementation is a next step into this stuff because what it does, it's use the SDK eye tracking to mimic the eye tracking. It also uses the Vizemes and also some, I think it's only Vizemes to mimic lip tracking because you can do like 30% of the face tracking stuff with just Vizemes. But it doesn't do actual face tracking itself. Like it doesn't do like R-kit tracking like an iPhone can do. So you can actually mix those two. If you have like a face tracking avatar and you have like an iPhone with R-kit, you can actually use the Vrchat camera to do like the head movement and everything, and also use the R-kit from the iPhone to do the actual face tracking. You can actually mix those two together. And we have seen some people doing it, and it's becoming like a really good choice for VTubers as well because it's really easy to set up, and in the end you have like a really live movements as well. If you mix those two together, but if you only use the camera, it's also good, but it's not as good as an actual tracking itself. It's they work in completely different ways, but in the end, I hope Vrchat mix those two together and have something complete out of the box.
Oh, okay. Now, how does one set up for face tracking? As you said, Vizemes alone only does a certain amount. What does it take to get an avatar fully ready to go? Hello, I'm actually here to interrupt the episode you're watching really quick to ask you a favor. Please come join us at any of the other locations we have. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, both of which we post our episodes and are very up to date on both. We have Discord where you go to hang out all the time, where you're gaming and shooting the breeze over with many people over that way. Feel free to come join us. I invite you. If you wish to support us, we have a Patreon where we post a bunch of random bits, bobs, and extra podcasts every once in a while for you to go enjoy. Also, if you wish to support us while in Vrchat, we're now part of the creator economy. So please come join if you wish to support us there. It's there for you to choose if you so wish. And thank you very much. And a special thanks to some of the people who have signed up on our Patreon, which are as follows. I have written down so I'll remember. And that's a tough thing. Forbidden Zero, Niche, Aliquum, Future Oracle, Lesser Capybara, and Frozen. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
So, for an avatar to be completely full face tracked, it needs a set of blend shapes that on Vrchat we like to call them unified expressions. You can have other options like R-Kit or Cernipol 5 standard, but the proper way nowadays is to have the unified expressions, which is a set of like, I don't know, probably 100 something separate blend shapes. One blend shape that moves the left upper lip, another that moves the right upper lip. It's like really separate into like every part of the face. And the VRCFC software basically gets the kind of data that your hardware can do and converts into this pattern of unified expression. So even that they track different stuff, the VRCFT software basically combines them all into a single pattern. So it doesn't matter exactly which hardware you're using. It's always going to be like compiled into this unified expression list. And yeah, those blend shapes are the ones that actually can track every single part of your face and do that specifically, and not only Vizemes or whatever. So you have eyebrow blend shapes, eyelid blend shapes, complete blend shapes, tongue, and everything. For example, on Vive software, you even have like a parameter for rolling your tongue. So if you can actually do like a U with the tongue, you can actually map that parameter and map into a blend shape to actually make your tongue to twist in, like, it's all grouped into this set of unified expressions blend shapes. So it's a completely different from the actual Vizims. Some of them are pretty similar, but in the end you split like every part of the face into one blend shape, and we use all of them depending on the hardware that you're using.
Wow. Thank you for explaining that. And I have another question. How many products does Pawlygon offer, may I ask? What kinds of things do you work on over at Pawlygon? Just face tracking, or do you have other things
So
too?
we started with face tracking, but we also did some clothings. The one that I'm using also made by us. We do like stuff for virality, like some clothing specific. That's what we started doing after the face tracking. And we are now also doing what you call texture shadings. It's basically for like an avatar as well. Like we do like some shading work to make it more realistic.
Okay.
And this is like something that you apply on top of your existing texture to give some extra shading to it. So that's also another thing that we offer. And we also did like custom made textures as well for Vixen, I think. It's a set of cat textures like tiger, lion, and stuff for a specific avatar as well. So yeah, we like to work on those three parts: face tracking, clothing itself, and textures.
Okay.
I got one form line.
And also, we are in 7. We have 7 people that work for us.
Oh wow.
We work like what we like to call like a communist company. Everything that we make, we split between us. It's really helpful because some of the people that are working with us today is able to like completely be able to work with that. So and I've completely forgot the last thing that we started doing is also actually fursuits as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
one of our friends had some issues with like a friend that they were doing fursuits. So like, yeah, we like to do fursuits as well. It's something that we can think to do in the future. So he's the last person that joined Pawlygon. He's never gonna work on anything for Vrchat. He's gonna work on fursuits where we are first doing for ourselves because we really want, but it's something that we would like to offer in the future as well. That is completely out of Vrchat.
Oh wow.
But yeah.
I got a lot of questions, but I'll
Sorry.
let Raptor go before I go nuts.
Does that a lot, don't he? And when you're on the situation with the outfits and stuff like that, what baseline do you use so it can interact with other avatars? Because I've had a lot of people talking, they're waiting for they can have just one avatar where they can buy it, and they, especially like people like me that don't have no idea how to get it onto a system. How do you go about getting onto a system? Onto an avatar.
So we have to do outfits for our specific avatars. There is no easy way to do like an outfit that's gonna work on multiple different bases because the meshes are completely different. The paint weight is completely different. Even for example, Nova Beast, for example, we do the clothing based on the Nova Beast base. We include all the blend shapes that the avatar has. So if you turn on like brass, it's also gonna react to the brass, so it's gonna work with like every set of blend shapes the avatar has to offer. but there's no easy way to make one outfit that's going to work for all of the bases. So we have to design outfits and clothing specifically for each avatar, because currently there is no way of being able to do like multi avatar outfits. We basically have to do like specifically for that one. Would be a dream to be able to do like one clothing fits them all, but there is so much that cannot be done in a way. So yeah, there was a saying for like Nova Beast. People have like edited versions of Nova Beast, like the Night Beast, whatever they call. And even on a single avatar, sometimes we have people that, hey, can you do like this outfit, but for this specific modified base? And like, it's really like hard to be able to adjust to every edit they're using this game. So we cannot do it, and we like to be very clear, like, hey, this is specifically made for this avatar. It's specifically built with this limitations on top. So still there isn't a way to do that with accessories and stuff that you can add to the avatar itself, like a scarf or something. It's kind of possible because you can use like Furry to map the bones properly and make it work on every avatar. But every avatar is going to be a little bit different, and making promises that this asset is going to work like no matter what avatar you're using, it's unrealistic. It's always going to have something that's not going to be able to work. So at least for Pawlygon itself, we like to be very clear, like this outfit was made for this avatar. It doesn't support edits of this avatar. If you're going to work on an edited version, be sure that you know exactly how to modify it as well, because we cannot guarantee that everyone has exactly the base avatar. They haven't scaled bones and all of that. It's really hard. We hope for a future that everything is simple to edit and everything, but having a little bit of Unity knowledge to make changes is always good. But we try to make it as simple as possible. But at the same time, if you have like a really complex base, it's gonna be hard. But we try to make it as simple as possible.
Oh, okay.
So there was a couple of things in there I'd like to ask about, because I'm very smooth-brained. What is texture shading, and how does that make something look more realistic?
It would be better for Nucci, who is the one that works with specifically those to explain. But I might have something as an example here to show. This Nova Beast has it. But I should have one avatar that has toggles to show up the difference. Let me see if I can find one here. This is an example. This is a good example of something that we haven't released yet. This is my Mayu. It's a cat. Oh, server processing, nice. Really lovely feature, right?
Yeah, everybody's favorite, the timeline. Everybody enjoys the timeline, no matter what the deal is.
Ooh.
You work with it,
here,
and it pops in. There it is.
Oh.
Did it work?
Yep, you're up and running.
Yeah, it's lit on my side. Yeah, you're up and going.
So here, for example, this one, you see like it's really flat. It's like just no shading at all. If you see my beans, they are just flat.
Yep.
And we are working on one specifically for Mayu. It's not released yet, so it's the first. And we did a photo shoot, and this version here has the shading. It's really subtle, but it does bring a lot of difference. So the texture is the same.
Wow.
It's just something
What a
that you add on
difference.
top of the texture.
Wow, what a difference.
Uh,
Holy shit.
That is a huge
Wow.
difference.
So
Big
yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, if you have already a working texture and you want to give like some more details, we usually bring like some 4 or 3 different variations, like for female, for male, for chubby. This one is chubby, but it doesn't look very chubby. But this one is the chubby one. Yeah, that's basically what the texture and shading does. It's not the texture itself. The texture, you still have to have your own customization or maybe even the original avatar.
Mm.
But we add some like artistic shading because the person that does that, her background is actual 2D artwork. She draws and it's her background. She likes to do actually out that this texture is also made by her. But she was like, yeah, what if we have like something that any other creator that works with textures and stuff that can go and basically add it, that's already like defines the body of the avatar itself. So this is the generic version of like a shading work.
Oh wow.
That's great.
Let me put my shirt back because I feel naked.
Fair. What started that being an offered service? How did that come about and get started, may I ask? It looked amazing, the difference between the two. I'm gonna be honest, it looks great.
Yeah, so everything that we do and we started doing is stuff that we already did for ourselves. So we like playing this game. We like to customizing our characters. We like to have stuff that we like. So this was something that she already did. And it was also something like that we like to see the workflow and like, how can we make this into something that anyone can use? If they already have like a texture and they want to pop it up a little bit, how can we deliver that without making it too complex for the final user? So it's all stuff that we always like to do, but we had to rethink how we did to make sure other people could use as well. So in the end, everything that we do at Pawlygon is stuff that we used to do for ourselves, but we want more people to have access to it. So it's always that workflow. We do something for ourselves. We think about how other people can use it without infringing any of like terms of service and stuff like that. Because, for example, the textures itself, we cannot send you the Substance Painter file, for example, with those shading applied. Because if you did that, we are sharing a creator file. Because Azuki, the creator of Mayu, he sells the Mayu and he also shares the Substance Painter file. If you just like, hey, we have this Substance Painter file, but it has shading on it, and you want to sell it, we would be infringing his terms of service because we are selling a file that he has. So we went and thought about ways to do it. So we create like a smart material. It's just a file with art changes that you go throw into Substance Painter on top of the original file. So you have to have the original file from the original creator to add your smart material to then have those things, because we don't want to take the market out of like other creators. We want to be able to share add-ons and stuff on top of the original work with stuff that we do for ourselves, because in the end we are also consumers of avatars. We like buying different kinds of avatars and modifying them, adding face track and adding different clothes, adding different textures, and we like to share those. We like other people to be able to use them as well. So our products are basically everything that we use for ourselves, but to be able to share and give support on that, because and that's also one thing that completely like taking a weird curve here, but talking about community, that's also something that I really like of the stuff that we do, because everyone that join our servers to ask stuff ends up learning something new every time. So sometimes they learn something about texturing. Sometimes they go and learn how to adjust the face tracking template to make some changes to make like one expression be more subtle or maybe more expressive. Every time they go there, we like to give them support on stuff that they also supported us. So it's like a opportunity for people to learn. Some people go there. It's funny. One time, one guy bought like a clothing for Nova Beast. It's a Seifuku for Nova Beast. It's a student outfit. And it's his outfit for specific for Nova Beast. And he saw the video on YouTube, the release of this asset. He's like, I want that, and he bought it. And then he contacted us like, how do I use it? I was like, there's like a tutorial, there's a video. You basically have your avatar set up, drag and drop the clothing, ready to go. They're like, yeah, but I don't have the avatar. I was like, oh, weird. You bought a clothing for the avatar specifically. Yeah, I like the clothing, but you don't have the avatar. No, I don't. Then he has to go there and buy the avatar as well. But he didn't know how to upload an avatar. Never did that before. So the whole process of him going liking the clothing went from like having to buy the clothing, he bought the avatar, installed Unity, he set up his first avatar, he got the clothing and everything working. And in the end, he just wanted to use the default avatar with the default clothing, nothing else. He just liked the clothing and the avatar itself. But since he liked that idea, he learned all the whole process of like how to make his own avatar, that he had no idea that he had to do it and that he could do it. Because if it was a public avatar, he could use it. And we have the public avatar for people to test. He could went and get the public avatar and be happy with it. He didn't have to buy anything. But he did because he didn't know that was a public avatar. But in the end, he discovered a completely new world that he could like modify his own Nova Beast, that he could modify the clothing. He learned all of that. And it was all from like seeing a video of a clothing that he liked to be able like, hey, I can do my own modification as well, my own avatar, customize the colors or whatsoever. Yeah. That's one thing that drives us a lot, like seeing people that learn something or improve at something every day. It's also why we worked in a group of people, because I know a lot about Unity. I don't know shit about Blender or Substance Painter and textures, but my other friends do. So we work together to do like something new every once we can. So yeah, that's something that drives us a lot. Seeing people come in there, learning something new and enjoying it. It's really good, really good feeling.
Well, I'll ask this question as well. What have been some of your favorite moments with the community that follows Pawlygon? Ask, like the one you've mentioned.
Yeah, that one was a really nice one. We went from a guy who had no idea of how this stuff works to a guy that started to learn and is probably doing a lot of stuff. We have a lot of people that had issues with face tracking before, that they couldn't smile properly, like it didn't like look like they're smiling. Sometimes the way that your face is, or maybe the headset you're using, so the parameter doesn't go as high as it could. So we also help people like into modifying the template, because if you see like a face tracking template, the way it is set up, it is scary. But we try to point like, hey, if you want to make the smile a little bit more obvious, you can go here, adjust this and that, test it out, see if you like, adjust a little bit more. So it's like countless scenarios of people that went with an issue and learned something new and improved a little bit. It's so good. And every time someone goes with an issue and we figure a way on out, like we figure a way, some way to help it out, it's always good. I love when people pops up into their Discord and sends a message in the help channel like, yes, something different today, something that we can go and dig it up and see what it can do. And yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Oh,
It's countless scenarios.
sure. Something also that you said you guys are going to offer soon is fursuits. Are you guys excited to begin offering that and do that for yourselves, man?
They're scared. I
Oh?
think the word is scared. Because, yeah. So we started doing that in, I don't know, October last year. I don't know exactly the date. We first decided to like, let's work with stuff for ourselves. Let's buy our stuff. Let's build our own. The guy that we got into our team, he was a longtime friend of us. He has been working with fursuits for like years, like maybe almost a decade. Decade. I don't know how to pronounce that word. That's like 10 years.
Decade.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you very
decade.
much.
Problem
I'm also from
anytime.
Brazil.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. So he has been working with that for a long time. But he never did one from scratch. Like he never did one completely. He doesn't know how to do like the head itself. He's really good at doing the body part. He knows like how to do the hands. But he worked on a team as well, and he had more people working with him. So it's his first time doing one from zero. And we have to learn a lot of stuff. We have to learn how to print the eyes to be able to make sure the person from inside that thing is gonna see anything outside. We are learning a lot, like really a lot. This is something that we decided to do out of nowhere, and we didn't knew that we would have to learn that much, but we are. So we are almost complete with our first one. It's from my partner Rad. They have been working like crazy on that. It has been almost 4 or 5 months. When we started, it was like, yeah, I think I can do in 2 months. It has been almost 6 months now. But everyone understands why it's taking so long and why it's so much work. And it really is. So it's something that's going to take a long time for us to offer from other people, because we want to make sure that we know how to do it, and learning. And we are showing some progress around some close friends, and our close friends are like, yeah, I kind of want one as well. Like, yeah, we know that we want, but let us learn first. Don't rush. We are slowly gonna build that thing up, and when we feel like we can actually offer that service, we will. It's good to do like in close friends, because we can actually build our portfolio as well. Because first, it's expensive. Even only the materials itself is expensive, and the amount of time you have to put on top of that makes it more expensive as well. So we want to make sure that we know how to do it. We learn. We have a portfolio. We also want to make sure how long it's gonna take to do one, so we can actually not delay the work. So it's scary because of that. And also, I am the only one that doesn't live in Brazil. I live in America, United States. All the other people lives in Brazil, and also the fursuit maker. So this is also something that we have to learn, because to do a fursuit, you need to do it exactly to the body proportions of that person. The best way to do it, not sure if you know, it's something that they call DTD, which is a short way of saying like wrap yourself on tape, get like a body of your tape. Oh, Someone is joining on me, but she works at Pawlygon as well. I'm sorry about it.
It's all good.
It's no problem.
Wrap yourself around the body with the tape and send out this mannequin of tape to the person who is doing the fursuit to be able to build on top of your body to make sure it fits properly. So going out that way of like measuring, sending to the person, doing the suit itself, all of that stuff, it's a lot of work. And then also means that whenever it's done, I have to ship back. And we assume most of people that are gonna interest in that service are not in Brazil as well. So all this going back and forth with measurement and also final product, it scares us a little bit. It's scaring me a little bit. My partner is kind of okay with it. I think he's crazy because sending stuff internationally is pretty hard. It's pretty weird.
So how?
And that one that you're probably gonna see behind me is the one that does the textures.
Oh, the one you mentioned
That
earlier
little
with
grambling.
the shader textures.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so how different is the learning process for what you learned to the fursuit stuff? And so you said the team is learning. Is it same kind of stress and learning for when you first started picking up all of this stuff for what you do normally, or is it similar or different?
I'm not really too much involved into the fursuit part. It's more my partner and also the guy we hired that had knowledge before. But it's research. You have to go online and see like how other people are doing it. You have to. There's no book of how to do a fursuit. There's no training that you can do. You have to go and see what other people are doing and try to learn and adapt. And that's what we're doing. I have to go everywhere and go. There's a bunch of YouTubers that are doing that and showing how they do each part. So you have to go and learn how they do it, try to adapt, try to find places that we can do the kind of same stuff. We had to find out where to buy the fur itself. Like, there is no easy way of doing it. You have to go to stores in Brazil to see if they sell. You have to import from China, import from the United States. It's research every day, researching how people do it, and in the end, it's the same thing because if you want to learn about Blender, you have to go online and search what you want to learn. It's all about knowing what to ask and trying to find other people that are also learning the same thing you're learning. So, but it's just the difference between doing like something digitally and something physically. The digital is easier to distribute for sure. Just make a web page, make sure you answer everything, but physical object, it's a little bit more involved. There's a lot more that we will still need to learn whenever we start offering that. I am like I'll be one of the test subjects, I would like to call, because as I live outside of Brazil, I'm doing like a partial, just like a head fursuit and also the paws. But they don't have I don't have a DTD. I'll have to do the measures, send to them. They'll have to do it and send it to me. So it's gonna be like a really learning step to see like how much it's gonna cost to ship that. How do we package it? It's all about testing it out and learning. But we're gonna make sure that we do it for ourselves first to learn all this stuff and then start offering to first friends and then to the community itself.
Okay. Well, I do wish you guys the best of luck with that new service, and I hope it goes well as you hope it will.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. Now, Did you expect this kind of journey you've been on in Vrchat and with Pawlygon from when you first put on the plastic potato on your head mask?
Really, not at all.
Hmm.
Even today, it's something that I look back and like, weird, right? Why do we do that? Like, we could have been doing our stuff and enjoying our game, and but I've never planned it, and also think that if I have planned it, it wouldn't have worked. It's only working because we went and just did it without thinking too much. It's fun because when it first started, like, yeah, no one's gonna care about it. It's gonna like be one or two that's gonna enjoy. Like, it's fine. It's not gonna be a lot of work as well. Just let's see what happens, and it starts snowballing. And like, we even today sometimes we don't even know exactly how far it went, and it's just stuff just happens. We're just like, yeah, this is weird. We have been in contact with Vive to test it, to help to test it out the headsets. It's a lot of stuff happening, and we never planned for it. We just went and learned in the progress.
Oh. Well, thank you for sharing. It's much appreciated. Last couple questions before we start wrapping up. I'll also add another one to our normal two. First one is, where did the name Pawlygon come from, and why did you and your group try to decide to use it?
We didn't have a better one, to be honest. We we sat down and like, hey guys, if you want to do something, we need to think about a name. And I don't even remember the other options or other alternatives. We went with Paul because it's clearly furry, and maybe Ligon because it's a polygon joke of words. But it was our best option. The other ones are worst.
Oh.
No background on it. Just like we needed a name, and we tried our best.
I think it's a really awesome name. Thank you for sharing. And the name you use in
Thank you very
Vrchat,
much.
where'd that come from? Why do you use it?
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to play World of Warcraft a lot, more than I needed to. And it is also a joke on words because I used to play this came from a shaman. And there's a dessert in Brazil called Choquito, which is a candy bar, crunchy stuff, weird. And also it's a joke on the word Choki, which is shock itself. Like a Choquito is like a small shock. Shamans used to do a lot of shock stuff. So that was the the name. And then I just shortened it for Choki because it's easier to pronounce. But yeah, it came from Choquito, the dessert, and also the act of shocking.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the avatar you're in, or what you normally use, why do you use it, why'd you choose it, or anything about it that means anything to you?
Most avatars I use looks like a cat. I am a cat fanatic. My first persona is based on a pala cat. I'm not sure if you saw one. It's like a roundy, weird cat. Pala cat, its name. So I tend to go for any avatar that looks like a cat. It's my sweet spot. I have a collection of them, all with that texture. It's a hobby of mine doing cat's avatar. And also I use a lot of Nava Beast because it's really popular, and like there's a lot of assets and clothing for it. So, but I have a collection of avatars, all of them furries. No, no human, no, not at all. Just since day one on this game, I always use my furry avatars.
Okay. Well, Thank you very much, Choki, for joining us. It's been an absolute honor hearing about you and Pawlygon.
Yeah, very much
Thank
so.
you.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's also my first time participating one of those. It was a little bit nervous, to be honest, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was nice.
Well, thank you. And where can the audience find you if they wish to reach out and find you?
You can find us on Pawlygon.net, and also on Twitter, Pawlygon Studio, Blue Sky, should be Pawlygon Studio as well, and on our Discord as well. If you go to Pawlygon.net, it's gonna have a invite link for our Discord. You can find us there, and all of the rest of the team as well. Yeah, really big.
Well, thank you very much. We'll make sure you have all of those links for you, the audience, to find in the episode description. If you scroll down on YouTube a bit, there's the video description. Go open up, hit show more, look for guest links, and everything will be right there for you to find. If you're on Spotify, it'll be in the episode description. So you could be the same place, same label, easy to find. And this is where I'll ask you, the audience, a question before we have wrap up. And that is, have you ever used face tracking before? If so, what kind of models do you use? What headset do you have? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know. We love to see all of everything you say. We'll be reading it. With that said, Mr. Apter, you know the thing.
Yeah, no matter what you do, folks, and everything else like this, remember this: if eye tracking gets as big as it is, us short people are going to have to look up, and our eyes cannot be where we want them. So we might get in more trouble than what it's worth. So think about it, folks. It's going to be dangerous for us short people. Why are your eyes there? Because I can't look any higher than what I'm supposed to. We'll talk to you later. Bye.